Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us at such short notice to talk about the European Court of Justice decision today. On the panel today, we're all remote, so please bear with us. On the panel today, we have the UEFA President, Alexander Ceferin, the Chairman of the European Club Association, Nasser Al-Khalifi, the President of La Liga, Javier Tebas, the President of the European Leagues, Pedro Prensa, the Executive Director of the Football Supporters Europe, Ronan Evane, and David Terrier, the President of FIFPro Europe. Each of those will have an opening statement, but I'll pass to the UEFA President now to kick the whole thing off. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Phil. Good afternoon to everyone. As Phil said, we will speak about today's ruling of the European Court of Justice. I personally see, and we see, a decision as a chance to improve some of the regulations. But firstly and crucially, football remains united, and as evidence, you see all of us stakeholders speaking together today at the press conference. We have national governments and institutions behind us. It's fair to say that the press release issued by the ECJ and subsequent media generation does not fully reflect the court's findings. In fact, there is a stark contrast between the press statement and the judgment. The judgment is actually positive as it embraces the key features of the European football pyramid: open competitions, sporting merit, and solidarity. And you have in this press conference its governing body and all recognized stakeholders, all. So the ECJ accepts that UEFA maintains its role as organizing and authorizing body. Now, so-called European Super League central attack on our dual status was therefore clearly rejected. ECJ decision is based on old facts, which form basis of questions referred by Madrid court. The old so-called Super League project and under old authorization system, that's what existed in 2021. The ECJ certainly has not given the green light nor approved projects like the so-called Super League. We actually welcome the clarity that the ECJ have delivered today, including the endorsement of a pre-authorization system and UEFA's dual role as organizing and authorizing body. Now, the fact is, so-called European Super League has never requested authorization for its projects. Whatever they say differently is not true. Now, we were aware that our authorization system was imperfect, and we started to work on that in 2021 and concluded it in 2022 with the decision of Executive Committee of UEFA. And we are confident that these new rules are fully in line with the ECJ's judgment. That said, we will of course review after reading the verdict or the decision if we need to change or add anything else. So it's without any doubt important to stress once again that the ECJ has endorsed the European sports model based on sporting merit, which can be guaranteed only if all teams can enjoy a certain level of equal opportunity. It is also important to note that clubs from many countries, for example, England, Italy, France, are prevented from joining a project which is outside the system. Or you are part of the system or you're not part of the system, but it's your choice. We never said that anybody can't go without a system, out of the system. But some would like to be out of the system but play in the system, and it's hard to understand actually what they mean. And of course, UEFA is free to organize its own competitions and to exclusively sell the commercial rights. So any competition, must fit within the system and comply with our new authorization rules, amongst other things, require any new competition to respect sporting merit, international match calendar, solidarity, etc. So those rules also protect UEFA Champions Club competitions by requiring participation in the UCL by domestic leagues champions. And I will speak about that a bit later, and clubs qualified through domestic leagues via UEFA's coefficient ranking, as well as UCL and UEL title holders. So in conclusion, whilst there is always room for improvement, football remains united, as you see today, well protected from breakaway projects, which ignore all the things that I was mentioning today. Now, before I pass the floor to the next participant, we watched the so-called presentation of a company, A22, and it's really, for me personally, hard to decide if you should be shocked or amused by the show that we have seen. Since it's close to Christmas, I would choose the amusement, so I'm amused by it. Especially, the interesting idea is interesting that the champions would qualify in a blue league, which is third-tier competition, and that they clearly recognize now that this system that they presented today is even more close than the system in 2021, which was rejected by everyone in football and even out of football. So teams like Leicester, Girona, Atalanta, let alone smaller countries cannot qualify to this top-tier competition anymore. If you call it open competition, then of course you are wrong, at least by our opinion. So just to summarize, first, press release is the worst part of the decision. You have to read all the decision. Now we will go through the decision and we will see if we need to strengthen the authorization rules. We will see it, we have time to do that. I'm so happy that we saw the presentation and that it's clear now that they are offering a close competition, which we knew all the time, but they tried to present publicly it's not true. I've seen today the press release of English supporters who call it the zombie league. They didn't use that, they used blue league and some other colors as well. But despite that, we will not try to stop them. Even before, we never tried to stop them. And we said that, even I said that publicly many times. They can create whatever they want. I hope that they start their fantastic competition as soon as possible with two clubs. I hope they know what they're doing, which I'm not so sure about. So, not knowing if I would have the floor later, I wish all of you happy holidays and a fantastic 2024. And football is not for sale. We can show that many times. We did all together, all the football stakeholders and all the European society, and nothing, absolutely nothing can change that. So that's from my side. Thank you very much. Okay, later. Phil,
Oh, sorry.
Phil, will you pass the floor to the other?
Yes, I will.
Can you hear us, gentlemen?
Just speak, Nasser. Speak, please.
Please. First of all, good afternoon, everyone. Great to see you here, and I wish you a happy holiday and happy New Year and Merry Christmas. You know, I saw, to be honest, you know, I saw the ruling of the court, and there's so much noise after, which it's, you know, for me, I'm a little bit, I don't understand it, to be honest. Maybe some people haven't, you know, noticed that everything that the judgment says, with all stakeholders of football have been doing for past 2 years, with everything we do, the reform of the competition, the joint venture with UEFA, ECA, reforming even in the ECA, bringing more clubs. You know, I see it a little bit exaggeration in it, which I understand from their side. You know, they see it as victory, but honestly, I don't see it at all. It has nothing to do with the Super League. It is about legal rules which have changed. We change, as the president said, we change so much things. Today, you know, we have, as European Club Association, with UEFA, we are really in changing things, almost reforming the competition. We have the commercial company together, joint venture, and there's things we changing this more than last 2 years. So it's not because the court ruling, but it has been done almost more than 2 years. I have seen this so many times before, you know, around and around. They come every time they come with something, you know. But one thing, if you notice, you, the media, you know, journalists here, the same presentation, the same videos, the same people, they are there. Same talks, talk about freedom, but it's not freedom, it's closed league. You know, the clubs, you know, as chairman of the ACA, on behalf of the clubs, last 2 hours, I received, I don't know, 40, 50 calls from different clubs, from leagues, from really different that, listen, whatever, this is a not legal contract. This is a social contract, social agreement between us. This value, there's a value that we defend. It's not about agreement. I said it before, and I'll say it on behalf of the clubs, all of them, all the stakeholders sticking together and the same. We're so proud being a partner with UEFA, so proud to play all this competition. I mean, they're promoting, you know, Super League, which trophy behind them, Champions League, UEFA Champions League trophy behind them, which is a little bit, for me, a little bit strange. And, you know, this competitions has been a brand itself, right? So as ECA also, everybody welcome to join the ECA. All the clubs, we have them. You know, there's only 2, 3, you know, still, but the 2, even not 3 Super League today. So for me, I want to confirm something here. All the stakeholders in Europe sticking together and the same goal. We're going, we continue. Yes, we're looking, not because this decision, but we're looking together with UEFA, with other stakeholders, with the leagues, with the European leagues, that what can change, what we can change in domestic and international, what we can change to improve. This is not because the ruling, that's what our aim, that's what we want to do, basically. That's, we're working in it. It's not something because this happened today and we're gonna change, not at all. So, you know, it is, for us, that will not change anything. It will make us better, make us stronger, as always. And I leave the floor for other participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nasser. And now Javier Tebas, who is the president of La Liga. Javier. We don't hear you, Javier. I think you may be on mute, Javier.
We don't hear you.
We cannot hear you, Javier. I don't know what's.
Tell him that we don't hear him. We don't hear you.
We don't hear you, Javier. We'll try and fix those.
We see
problems.
only. We hear only the translator. Here.
No, we don't even-
They are going there.
Okay, well, just while we're solving those technical problems, let's move on to Pedro Prensa, who is the president of the European League. Sorry, Javier, we'll come back to you as soon as we can. Pedro.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Yes. Okay. So good afternoon to everybody. I would like just to make a small statement, just to say that the European leagues, we are in the same line of the president of UEFA. For us, this.
Would you speak up a bit, because I don't. It's very silent. I don't hear you.
I don't know if you can hear me now. Yes. Can you?
We can, yes.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Yes, you can hear. So, okay. So good afternoon to everybody. We are going to, on behalf of the European leagues, just to make a small statement. We are in the same line of the president of UEFA and the president of the other stakeholders. For us, this decision of the court didn't change anything about what we believe what should be the format of the international competitions. So on behalf of the European leagues, we believe in the fundamental principles of the openness, and the qualification for the international club competition should be always by the domestic competitions. So we believe in the balance between the domestic leagues and the international club, and we still completely against the Super Leagues model. So we have made in this conference press, all the stakeholders are completely committed to work together to keep it stronger and to keep this line. So I have telling in the beginning of my speech, this decision doesn't change anything about what the European leagues think about which should be the future of the international competitions. Thank you very much. I would like to wish you a very good Merry Christmas to everybody. And we are all together, the stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pedro. We'll now move on to Ronan Ebain, who is the Executive Director of Football Supporters Europe. Ronan.
Thank you. Thanks. So for us on the fan side, there's nothing new. It's still the same project than 2 years ago. Still the same private, closed, money-driven competition. This is merely a repackaging and recycling a terrible idea with no regard to sporting merit or what makes the hearts of the competition. The first version of the Super League didn't fail because of existing regulation at the time, but it failed because we all showed unity against the project, and above all because of fans' protests, which then put pressure on participants that gave up on the project. So we European fans, we still have the same position. We're still united against this business-oriented vision of football, same as in 2021, and there is no reason why we would change that. We belong to an ecosystem of European football, which is not perfect, but at least there are a set of rules. and where our mandate as fan representative is recognized. We don't need A22 to speak for us, or to explain to the rest of the world what football fans want. A22 is a lot of things, but it's certainly not the voice of European football fans. We can do that by ourselves. So again, our position is very clear. There's no place for a breakaway Super League in European football. We were hoping that the circus was behind us, that this idea was over. But as our English colleagues said, sorry, the zombies are back crawling, and we have to go through the same circus all over again. Clearly, Real Madrid and Barcelona won't be saving European football, and we don't have to pay the price or the cost for their financial mismanagement or for their endless ambition. Again, this is a populistic and realistic, money-driven project. It would be best for everyone and for the future of European football if its promoters would just give up now. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Ronan. And now David Terrier, who is the president of FIFPro Europe, and then we'll try again with Javier after that. David.
Hello, everybody. It will be easier for me in French. Sorry about it. Bonjour à tous. Tout d'abord, nous représentons les joueurs, et les joueurs se sont déjà positionnés sur ce projet et se sont projetés unanimement contre. Ils ont donné leur parole, ont relais leur parole, et ils sont toujours contre. Ça, c'est une évidence. Après, nous, en tant que FIFPro Europe, nous représentons tous les joueurs, non pas une partie qui serait amenée à jouer à une certaine compétition et diviser peut-être encore plus, fragmentant davantage le niveau européen du football. Nous sommes rassembleurs, comme vous l'avez dit, tous mes collègues l'ont dit. C'est important pour nous, ça c'est très important, et on se félicite même, je rejoins le président Alexander Seferin, de cette décision qui va nous donner la possibilité de jouer un rôle plus affirmé à l'avenir, afin de protéger le marché de l'emploi des joueurs, mais également des ligues nationales et du mérite sportif, qui est pour moi un élément très très important du système pyramidal. Et nous, FIFPro Europe, jouerons le match ensemble avec toutes mes collègues et les parties prenantes au sein de l'UEFA et bien évidemment du football européen, pour le bien de l'ensemble et de tous les joueurs, non pas seulement une partie de joueurs qui seraient concernés par une compétition. Merci de votre attention.
Thank you very much, David. Javier, we'll try you again. Hopefully this time the link will work. Javier Tebas, who's the president of La Liga.
Buenas tardes a todos. Espero que ahora me podáis oír, ¿no? Bueno, saludos al presidente Ceferín, al presidente de la ECA, Nasser Al-Khelaifi, al presidente de las ligas europeas, Pedro Prensa, y al resto de compañeros de instituciones del fútbol, ¿no? Yo quería lanzar unos breves mensajes. El primero, nuestro total apoyo a la UEFA como órgano regulador del fútbol europeo, ¿no? La UEFA lleva 69 años organizando competiciones europeas, organizando el fútbol europeo. Y en esos 69 años de historia ha tenido que ir adaptándose durante muchísimo tiempo pues a la realidad económica y deportiva del fútbol, ¿no? Y es lo que ha venido haciendo y es lo que está haciendo constantemente pues con sus diferentes stakeholders alrededor del mismo, ¿no? Y recientemente, la temporada pasada, en el año 22, reguló unas nuevas normas de cómo se puede solicitar dentro de sus estatutos el crear una nueva competición. Nuevas normas que no han sido analizadas con la sentencia del Tribunal Superior de la Justicia de la Unión Europea, ¿no? Eso es cuestión primera que hay que señalar. La segunda, recalcar que expresamente la sentencia, y repito, expresamente la sentencia, dice que no supone un reconocimiento de la Superliga. O sea, todo lo que estamos oyendo, escuchando, totalmente manipulado, es que la sentencia lo dice expresamente en alguno de sus apartados, ¿no? Y por eso quiero recalcar esa cuestión. Y luego, ya para terminar, dentro de la estrategia del relato que ha construido A22 y que han construido A22 y los dos clubes españoles, que son el Real Madrid y Fútbol Club Barcelona, de la nueva competición que es abierta, no es verdad, no es cierto lo que están anunciando. Es una competición muy similar y más cerrada que la que se anunció en el 2019 y que fue rechazada por el fútbol europeo, por todos sus clubes y sus ligas, donde son 3 categorías: 16 la primera, 16 la segunda, 20 la tercera, y solo las ligas nacionales tenemos acceso a través de la tercera categoría. Las otras ascienden y descienden 2 clubes solamente. Es fácil ver que con ese modelo de competición, en esa categoría primera que llaman Stars, siempre van a estar los mismos clubes y es como una liga casi cerrada, no tan cerrada como la 21, pero casi cerrada y más cerrada que la reforma del 19. Por lo tanto, nuestro máximo apoyo a la UEFA como regulador. Sabemos que va adaptando las normas con la realidad social y económica que tenemos y nuestro máximo rechazo a este modelo de competición y nuestro apoyo a la resolución del Tribunal Superior de Justicia de la Unión Europea, que no supone en absoluto el reconocimiento de la Superliga, como se ha dicho equivocadamente y tergiversadamente o mintiendo en la mañana de hoy. Y buenos días a todos y saludos.
Thank you very much, Javier. I know the UEFA president wants to come back in. President.
Yeah, I just wanted to add one thing. My phone is full of SMSs from clubs, leagues, supporters of football, people who care about football, or just members of the society who don't care so much about football. Who doesn't care about that? The ones who don't care about football. If you care about football, you have to be touched by that. I got like 200 SMSs now. Stakeholders that you see today in the room are in disagreement many times. We speak about different reforms, about different things in football, and we argue. We disagree, sometimes agree, and so on. But when we have to speak about the openness of competition, about the fact that football is the sports for everyone, we are completely united. So I have a feeling that this A22, now it's close to Christmas, they saw a big, well-decorated box under the tree. They were super happy, started to celebrate, but when you open the box, you see that it's not much inside. So that's from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President. We'll open the floor to questions. And Jamie Gardner. Jamie, your question, please.
Hi, can everyone hear me okay?
Yep.
It's a question, I guess, possibly one for the president. On the 2022 authorization rules, did UEFA seek guidance on those rules from European legislators? And are you confident that if A22 were to apply on those rules, that European legislators would deem those rules complied with European law?
Yes, we were in contact with the European authorities. Maybe I can pass the floor to Simon to explain more about that, because he was the one who was in contact with the authorities. Simon, are you there?
I am, President. So now I can confirm this process to review the authorization system was started back in 2019, because there were already some discussions taking place on what that actually might look like. During that process, we consulted with the stakeholders. We spoke with the European leagues, we spoke with the ECA, but also we spoke with the European Commission. And all that was done before being presented to the EXCO in June of last year when they were approved, these new rules.
Okay, thank you. The next question from Khalid Nahar, please. Khalid. Khalid, are you there? Can't hear you. Okay, so let's move on to Rob Harris. Rob from Sky.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Rob.
Hi. Just what might need to change to comply with the the announcement today. I mean, you say there might need to be more changes. What changes might be needed to stave off future legal actions, comply with the EU ruling?
It's a bit too hard, too fast to speak about this now when we just read the decision of the ECJ. We can explain that a bit later, but I was talking about authorization rules that we changed. We checked with authorities, as Simon explained, but after really going deeply to the decision, before we go very deeply into the decision, it's hard to say if we need to change anything. But when this case started, the authorization rules were not changed yet. So it might be that these rules are in line with the decision of the ECJ.
Thank you very much. Tarek Panja. Go on, Tarek, we can see you. Can't hear you.
Can you unmute me? Can you hear me? Hi. Well, thanks for having a press conference. It's been a while. Just something about, we keep talking about A22, but if we move them aside now, can we be clear if a third party outside comes up with a proposal that is in line with the European Court's judgment today, that cannot be blocked? And will there be wider governance changes at UEFA and FIFA as a result of this at all?
It's a bit hypothetical to speak about that, but I don't think it will change much. We will not block anyone, and we said that publicly. I said many times, personally, and the others too, that they can organize whatever they want.
But they can still participate in your competition by the sounds of the ECJ ruling there.
I think we all need a bit more time to read the decision, but looking at the calendar, you know very well that this is impossible.
Thank you, Tarek. Now we'll go to Arantxa Rodriguez.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I would like to know, I would like to ask to Mr. Seferin if UEFA is open to talk to Superliga to reach an agreement with them. Thank you very much.
Now, the World Super League is a strange one, because we have A22, we have two clubs that say that they are connected to A22, but A22 said that they are not representing those two clubs. So the situation is very complicated. But what I want to say, we speak to everyone in football, and we also organize a meeting with this agency. So I don't see what else should I say. First, we have to see something.
Okay, thank you, President. And now we move on to Tancredi Palmieri. Tancredi.
Can you hear me? Hi.
We can.
Okay, my question is, well, basically the statement is saying that UEFA can't sanction economically the clubs that will, in case, join Super League. Mr. President just said that if we look at the calendar, obviously it's pretty hard to think that a club could play for both competitions. Can UEFA sanction the single players to not play in the Euro Championship, in the national competition for national teams, if they play for the Super League?
Honestly speaking, I doubt we can do it. And honestly speaking, I don't think we want to do it.
Pourquoi ils mettent pas le président en duel là?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll take two last questions. First one, Simon Stone.
No.
Hi, Nasser, could I speak to Nasser, please? A22 have maintained that once they were allowed to speak to any clubs without the threat of sanction, that they are confident that many of them will come round to their plan. Do you get that sense at all? Do you get the feeling that any of the clubs who were involved before would be willing to join their competition? Or do you just get the feeling that nobody will join them?
No, thank you very much for your question. I think, who's A22? Honestly, my question to you, who's A22? Where they come from, what their history, what their profile, right? So this first, to talk to people, talk to serious people first. Second, as the president said, as us, there's 2 clubs, 3 clubs, they are not with us today at the ECA. We didn't threat them, we didn't banish them, we didn't, some of them, they talk to us, but we're not gonna threat them. If they want to come join, please welcome. We are always have open door for this. And for me, ECA have never limit ambition. The truth that, we want to have all the clubs, to present all the clubs and open competitions and open fairness and playing and distribution. And I want to say something here really important, and maybe most of you or all of you doesn't know it. Last MOU, even after the signing the MOU, that we, as we always discuss and negotiate, and sometimes we agree with UEFA, sometimes we don't agree, by the way, you don't see it maybe, but that's the truth. We are today as ECA, we are in most of the committees at the UEFA and members. We have a member sitting in most of the UEFA committees. That's most of you or all of you doesn't know that, right? What that mean? That we are really working in everything, in security, in medical, in reform, in competition, everything. And this is thanks to the president, honestly, the openness, the vision that he has also, the truth. It's not because the ruling, that's happened months ago, So it's not because ruling that, we have under pressure, or UEFA, or European League, or La Liga, or, all of us, we have the same interest. There's ecosystem here, football, nobody can touch it. It's not with the legal. This is fans, that nobody can touch it. That's you, media, understand it. You remember 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago, what's happened, right? It is not, we don't need to threat anyone. We don't need to push. We don't need to banish anyone. That's who's ever want to join those competition. Fantastic, you're most welcome. If not, please go do your own competition. That's fine. But today, for me, and always I say it, of course, the best club competition in the world is Champions League. The music itself, it's a brand, right? So you have a brand already exists for years and years. Why someone will not be part of it? We are, as clubs, proud to be part of it. Proud, all of them. Their dream to have even, linked to it. You hear the music itself. It's amazing feeling, right? So all this, I think, we shouldn't focus more on the legal sides, but really what they're realistic today, and this is so important for the clubs. I told you, I don't know how many calls from clubs, all of them. And you see the statement from most of them. Did interview already? We didn't ask anything. They reach, they call, they do interview by themselves, statements that, whatever happened, they're not going to be proud to be part of it, right? And all of us as stakeholders, we're staying together to protect the ecosystem of football. That's what they do. There's no one advantage doesn't have advantage for someone against the others. And by the way, we are negotiating, we are discussion. There is a discussion between us to improve ourselves I criticize myself every day. I criticize my team. I criticize everyone that's, you know, to be better. That's for the way how we see it. We don't need anyone or rules or regulation. So we know what's the best for football. Thank you very much.
Maybe just to add one thing about your question, Mr. Stone. If I understood you correctly, you asked if some of the clubs that were already members of the thing in 21 would rejoin. 3 or 4 were the first ones to give the statement today that they will never join. So even the ones who are there are the first ones to be against, just to explain that. Thank you.
Question from Fabio Licari, please.
Hi, President. You hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Ciao to everybody. The most important part of your speech was when you said that there is a big difference between the press release and the meaning of the sentence and the words of the sentence. Can you say something more to help us understand which is the difference and why is not like the first press release and the A22 words?
Yeah, I think it would take a lot of time to explain this. We have facts ready. We went through. Maybe if Phil can share this with you in a written form, it would be much better, because to explain now everything would take a lot of time. I think we would pass the press conference with that. So Phil, could you share this with the ones who want to have it?
We can take it offline. Yeah, I'm not sure it's necessarily in a digestible form at the moment, but I'll take it offline with Fabio and we'll discuss it.
Okay.
Grazie.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for joining us at short notice. Apologies for the technical difficulties, but I hope you have a good Christmas and we'll see you in the new year.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.